Hey there, heroes of lore, my name is Ray, and welcome back to Adventure Quest Worlds. Today we're going to be interviewing an Artix Entertainment staff member. His name is Adam1a1. You may have heard of him if you're over on the Twitter. He's an AE staff and promotional designer. He's also an AQWorlds artist, and he's done a lot of stuff for AQW that you may or may not have seen in-game. So we're going to be sitting down with Adam just after the intro, and we're going to just chat with him. He actually reveals some pretty cool things that happen behind the scenes, as well as a really nice chat about AQW and the wider community as a whole. It's going to be a really awesome interview. I hope you guys will stick around and enjoy it. I have put timestamps down below in the description because it is quite a long one, so if you want to skip to a certain question or conversation, you can go ahead and do that. As always, make sure to like this video and go give Adam some love on Twitter. His link will also be down below in the description. It should be one of the first things that you see. I'll leave you guys there. Enjoy the interview, and we'll roll it after the intro in 3, 2, 1. Hey there, everyone. I'm sitting down today with Adam. You may know him on Twitter. He is a AE staff and promotional designer for AQWorlds, and he's also an artist himself. This has been a long time coming, this project, and we're here sitting on Discord, and we're just gonna crack open a nice hot cup of tea and sit down and have a little chat about some things that, you know, have been circulating in the community. A lot of people have been wondering what it's like to be on the inside, you know. But yeah, so Adam, what's going on, dude? Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself for people who may not actually know who you are in the community?
Yeah, sure. But first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And hello, everyone. I'm Adam1a1. The name was chosen 10 years ago from my very young self, so please don't question it much. I'm AE staff, and my specialty is literally nothing. Like, I do everything, so this interview is like the worst person you could have gotten for this explanation thingy, but look, man, it's something. It's at least something. But yeah, I do stuff from AQWorlds in-game art, like items. I also did a lot of badges. I also do a lot of promotional images. I also do some classic weapons, redesigns of menus. I also do an AQWorlds comics, please read, thank you very much. And that's basically it. Also a lot of old stuff which was or was not released, I'm not sure. So yeah, that's basically my explanation who I am.
Oh, that's really cool. I even learned a few things there myself. So yeah, I've heard about the comics that you actually make, and a few people have actually been asking about those. At the end, I'll actually get some source material from you so I can link it down below in the description, but for people who may not be aware of it, because I mean, most of the community is on Twitter, right? But there's still some people who are not on Twitter where a lot of that stuff gets shared. But yeah, that was a really good intro there. So this is kind of the big reoccurring question, and it's also the question that I've had in my head too, because nobody really knows how, it's different for everyone, but nobody really knows how the process begins. So the question is, how did you come to work for AE and become a staff member? What was that process sort of like? Were you approached, or did you seek it out, or how did it happen for you in particular?
That's actually a lovely story, and before I start, I just want to say sorry for my bad English. I might say something weird from time to time which doesn't make sense, so please just think about it really hard and find the real meaning. But that being said, for me, it was very random. I was a long-time player for AQWorlds, and basically I was a big whale, you know, the guy who spends a lot of money on the game, because I played it as a kid and I never was able to buy anything, and later I started buying a lot. I had all of the badges and everything, from 2 years straight, so you know, they were monthly packages, and I got really attached to the game. So much so that when the quality of releases got really down, I got really upset, and my solution to this problem was to create my own release, which I can give to the team, so they have an extra week to work on their release, so it's, you know, better. That was my very young naive thought. So I basically gathered a team which consisted of people you may know few. There was Lei before he was in the team. There was Hydro, he made some void armors. There was Wolfie, he made armors like a silver blaze binder, and so on, so on. There was also my friend Brepta, who made some music and helped me out with some video editing. We are friends till this day. And all of these people, basically later on, after this project, not because of it, but it's just a funny coincidence, we all somehow managed to work with AE later on. So we basically collabed on a 3-month-long project where we created our own release, which was terrible. Like, it was so bad. The story was terrible, the art was very mediocre, like even worse than old AQWorlds art, you know, very, very weak. But we got noticed. And basically, after we got noticed, I managed to get like a contact to Alina because she saw that we tried and she was like, hey, that's cool. And later on, I kept expanding it and working on it more and more and more. At a certain point, I got kind of fed up that it's not getting in-game. Like, you know, we didn't get any more messages or there weren't any plans. And keep in mind, I was very young back then. So it was like, okay, then what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take the story I had because I already worked on it a lot. I'm going to take the art we already made and I'm going to turn it into comics. So the assets won't go to waste. And after I finished few pages of the comics, Alina noticed it and liked it so much, I got basically commissioned to make few pages based on their story, which I did, and that was how I became the community content creator, the badge, you know, the cool badge. And after that, I just kept doing more and more stuff and kept getting more and more into AE. I made some, you know, maps, I did some items, and later on when there was a contest for graphic design, promotional design, I won one of the top 4 places, and 3 of those people who won got basically into AE, and I was one of them. And afterwards I just became staff, and I got the freedom to do any product I want, as long as I keep helping them with the things they need. That's why I'm like AE staff. And that's basically where I am right now. So yeah, sorry for the long explanation. It's just, you know, a long story.
Dude, whoa. Oh man, I might even shed a tear there. That was actually incredible. I mean, like that isn't even that's not a mundane story at all. That is, I mean, your whole process was kind of born from a will to make AQW better, right? And
basically, yes.
Like I remember, like, because back when you were doing, like, basically you assembled a team, you got an Avengers team, and you got your guys' own release, you guys made your own assets, and everything, and you made your own release and kind of submitted it. That got you in the door. And then I think the biggest part about your whole story, like before you worked for AE, was just consistently, you know, making stuff, consistently working on stuff. Even in the end, when it looked like, you know, it wasn't going to go anywhere, you use those assets that you make and you made a comic series out of it. And I think yeah, they kind of picked up on that. And they're like, wow, we want more of that. Whatever it is, we want more of it. And they made a really good choice. And I mean, on behalf of the community, actually, thank you for all the stuff that you create. Honestly, you keep the community alive in so many ways.
Too. So. Like, I think the YouTube content creators are very important as well. Like, you are the guys which, when I stopped playing for a while, I still seen some YouTube videos of AQWorlds, and that eventually got me back to the game because I had like 3 years break once when I dropped it once, by the way. So you guys are the reason why I'm here right now.
That's awesome. I find that that's a common theme, is that a lot of people seem to take a break from the game. And that could be for so many different reasons. But I find that the community content on Twitter and on YouTube kind of brings people together. Especially if you talk about like the weekly Friday release streams, there's always, you know, people don't want to hop on AQW alone and just play the release. They want to share that experience with other people on a weekly basis. They want to chat with other people. They want to interact with other people. And, you know, there's also people want to, like, especially if you're starting the game kind of and you're working your way up and you need to like fight a boss or a chaos lord, you know, you can't do it alone. But like those old releases are empty, right? Those rooms are empty. So people, where do they go? They look for a place where the community congregates to try and get some people to help them out, right? And
yes, and that's beautiful.
Yeah,
because there are always people to help you out.
And that kind of sort of segues into something that, like, also came up a lot in the community questions and stuff, and it's a constant topic that pops up, and it's like, and it's been popping up for the past like 6, 7, 8 years already. And it's like, when is AQW gonna die? And I actually want to hear your thoughts about that. But my thoughts about it are actually, like the way things are, it will never reach a point. Like it's kind of just plateaued where you have this tight community that will constantly be playing, and there will be like ups and downs, right? Like seasonally, like I don't know, for some reason in the summer there seems to be a dip, and then around the holidays and TLEPD and throughout December and early into Dage's birthday, there's a spike in everything. But honestly, like as you mentioned, like the amount of community interaction on a daily basis on the social platforms for 2008 Flash-based game is incredible, and the investment and the weekly updates, everything. So I kind of want to hear your from when you started playing AQW up until now, and maybe even sprinkle in a bit like what made you take a 3-year break.
Oh boy. So I actually started playing when I was still in, wait, is it middle school? Yeah, middle school. Like some friends just came into class and was like, okay, I found this game, let's go to the computers and check it out. So we made accounts and started playing, and I loved it. Especially, I still fondly remember Darkovia Saga, and it was beautiful, great, absolutely fantastic. And the reason why I dropped AQWorlds in 2013, I think, was basically because I was too addicted to it. Back in the day, I wasn't allowed by my parents to play computer games for more than an hour, 1 day a week. That was crazy. And that 1 hour, every single week, I spent it on AQWorlds because I liked it so much. And at one point, when the restrictions got better, I still was playing only AQWorlds, and at one day I just realized I'm too addicted to the game, so I dropped it for my own good, basically, because I didn't want to be so linked to it anymore. And so I dropped it, tried to find new hobbies, live a bit. Eventually, I fallen into the depths of hell, which are called anime. So that's another story.
Wow!
And
my condolences.
Thank you. I'll need them. And I came back 3 years later in summer holidays because I was so bored and had nothing to do. And I was like, let's check what happened to AQWorlds. And I checked it out, finished the Chaos story, which was nearly done, I'm not sure at this point. And I even was in a point where I already had some, money saved up because I got older. So I also became the membership experience. Got some ACs, got some better classes, because up until then I was using just Warrior because I didn't know how farming worked. So and that's how I got back in game. And sorry, I forgot the rest of your question.
So it was kind of about the concept of AQW dying, and especially with the server the whole new client coming. So I'd like to hear you, as a AE staff who actually is constantly involved with art and promotional designing, what you think about this,
I'll say
popular
it as
topic.
it is. Artix Entertainment is a huge mess, but their projects are never going to die, because in the end of the day, they are all passionate people who care about what they create, and even when they don't do always the best job because of many variables, in the end, it will turn out okay, and the game will be still with us for a long, long time. And even after it will go offline, it will still stay in our hearts, so it's gonna always stay with us and never die. That's my point of view.
That was beautiful. You made me tear up twice during this interview already. I think you validated a lot, pretty much everyone's concern with that simple answer. That a lot of people have picked up on the fact that internally AE is a bit all over the place, but absolutely you are correct. And I mean, you can speak for this from personal experience that there's a huge amount of passion.
I've seen so many private DMs, so I can vouch that it's a mess, but it's a good type of mess, not the one which is going to lead to totally catastrophic consequences.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Basically.
Yeah. No, but that's always been there. That will always prevail, and I think people who show an incentive to work on AQW and make it better, it's been, I think I think I don't know what year, but like a couple years ago, there was a very dead period of AQW, and then it came back with a bunch of new community artists, guest artists, staff, everything. Like it just had this kind of big revival, where everyone came back. So yeah, I think
Sorry. Continue.
it will always be around. It will always be around. There will always be a community for it, as long as there's a passion for it. And I think there's good things to come once they. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but once the new client comes out and everything, and they move away from Flash, I think word of mouth alone. You know, one friend says to another friend, like, "Hey, we used to play AQW as kids. They've just kind of revamped the game, and it's kind of cool. You wanna play?" And then they kind of get back into it, and they go, "Oh wow, there's all these new events and stuff to farm," and then might see a spike there, and then there's gonna be even more people that discover your work, and then one thing leads to another, and there you go. Yeah, sorry, I kind of stepped over you.
Yeah, so sorry for saying over you. I just couldn't agree more. That's what I said. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, well, I think that topic's covered. Those two things there, the whole concept of AQW going downhill and seasonal ups and downs, and how you became an AE staff were the two biggest questions. A lot of the other stuff is a bit more related to your art and Q&As from like the community.
Sure, go ahead if you want to.
So, this is kind of a question that I came up with personally, because I feel like there's not many people, unless you are an artist or you've got like the insight of maybe you're part of getting the AQW package release ready every week. But my question is kind of the process from paper and drawing to in-game item. I'm wondering what happens in between. There's not many people know. Like, you start off with basically a sketch, you draw it, and what happens in between that process to get it released in game? There's obviously a bunch of technical stuff, like what approval process or creative process for you personally, technical everything, is what I'm wondering.
To be honest, it's really random, I would say, because the biggest problem when it comes to releasing stuff is that it needs to fit like in the release thematically, or it has to have a place where it has to be released, and also there needs to be like a good way of AE to bring it in game, legally speaking, because currently when you have the flash art, there are templates which are so greatly set up that if you properly paste the art there, the item is basically ready to go in game. Meaning the biggest concern is that first of all you need to, if you notice, many of the artists like Lei or Light, Hikari, and those two, or maybe Kotaro, all of these get a lot of art in game every single week, or maybe every single 2 weeks, a lot. And when compare it to people like other people, I don't want to mention anybody, but the other community artists. And the reason is because there's always a legal contract which you need to like sign so they can legally release the art, And it's easier to give these opportunities to people who have these contracts regularly, because you can just group it together and it takes less time to take care of. Then if you had to take art from somebody who gets just this art in game, and then he doesn't do anything for 3 weeks, or you don't have any items you want from him for 3 weeks, months or years, it doesn't matter, a long time. So the biggest, like the entire process, okay, I think I got sidetracked, I'm very sorry. But yeah, in between the finished art and getting it getting in game is a huge mess of a process, which basically determines if it's going to get in game or not. And that's basically it. I'm sorry if I didn't like say exactly what you wanted to hear, or.
Absolutely, no. It actually makes sense. And maybe another question would be like, if you've made something for release, or a set or a weapon or something like that, and obviously it has to fit into the theme of the release. So let's say you make something, and like, has it happened where it will release like 6 months later or something like that?
Yes, but not because of the reason why you think. because there's a lot of art. We all know it. Like when you look at all the new releases, there sometimes are even 200 items because of the chests and stuff. And it can happen that there are so many artists and so many sets that like a set or an item gets forgotten. And they have it like legally acquired, they have it set up in game, but it doesn't get released. That, for example, happened with my Frankenfiend set, which was my first set in game. It got bought, contract-wise, and it was ready to be implemented, and it never did. And the reason for that was because they literally forgot it exists. So I just had to remind them a year later that, they have it, and it would be pretty nice if they'd released it. So yeah.
That's very interesting. I think you also kind of answered one of the community questions there about what was your first AQW art/set that was released in game?
Wait, that's different answer. My first ever item was a Bongo Cat hat, which was drawn by Mehmet. Sorry.
That was yours?
It was drawn by Mehmet, but the original art, which was basically done by me.
Oh, yes. I see. Okay. So it's just basically adapted for the game.
So they don't have to contract me, but I still got credit. I'm credited as Agent1a1 SVK because that was my old nick. Like not even AQWorlds nick, it was my Twitter nick. But yeah, that was mine work. Not exactly, it was referenced from a different tweet, but that's a different story. But yeah, I'm responsible.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I probably had that in my inventory and I would never bank it, so that's good. Well, there you go. So that was your first item to release in game. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. So okay. So I kind of move on to the just a little rapid fire of questions from the community here, and you can go into as much detail as you want, or we can go into as little detail as you want. It doesn't matter, and we can also chat about it. So, a reoccurring one that I've seen a couple times is, will there be any challenge boss related to your in-game character? Any plans for new quests, gear, story from your in-game NPC? Can we expect anything?
I don't want to be bad at anybody at AE, but my in-game mini release, which happened on my birthday this year in April, was a big mess. It was supposed to be a bit nicer, more refined. The quest had to be a bit more, more entertaining, a bit more, stuff to farm. And it was supposed to be less tedious and more story focused and also, more enjoyable. But it got really rushed in 2 days and it released in a way you can see in game right now. And I would love to have an opportunity. There's nothing confirmed. I still need to talk about this with Alina. But I would love to have for my next birthday in April, a continuation of this and a fix of the old stuff. So yeah, maybe a challenge or, maybe 1 or 2 screens, new map, something like that. More gear. Yeah, I would love to, but there's nothing confirmed. And all I can say is that I won't be ever able to confirm it because it's super random and you never know with AE. That's all I can say. But I'm going to do my best.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it would be cool if we revisited your birthday from this year and added some drops to a boss or something like that, just so people have a reason to go back and maybe play maybe the revamped story or something. But yeah, adding a new map, a couple more rooms, that would be really cool. It'd be nice if you popped up in the birthday feast map as well.
Oh yeah.
If we could access your own maybe shop quest that links back to your birthday map, that would be very nice.
Don't worry, man. I'll think about something, and if I get it confirmed, it's gonna be epic. Also, I'm gonna try to get the VIP shelf there with your chibi on it, so look forward to it.
Yes. Yeah, the chibis. Don't worry. I have that saved in a special folder, and it looks so good. If that ever comes in game, that'll be really cool. Right on. So, this question. What's your favorite item or art, maybe even it didn't even release in the game, that you've ever designed so far, and why do you like it so much?
Ooh, this is a good one. Honestly, I'm not sure I'll be able to say because I'm very proud of everything I did. I always put a lot of passion into my art and I create in order to create more. I don't create to like. Okay, my answer is the cursed pet, the cursed. What was it? Okay, I'm changing my answer to my personal set, which is not yet in game, but you can see it on my PC. That's a pretty nice one. But yeah, basically anything I did, I'm very proud of it, and I love it very dearly.
That's a great artist answer. Everything you do, you're proud of, which is good because a lot of artists kind of make stuff that they're not proud of, make stuff that they're proud of. But I think if you make something that at the end you look at and you're like, not the best, but you know what, this is going to help me become better, and you know, it's part of your own progression as an artist too, and yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and this might overlap with a few things, but what do you think makes players enjoy AQW so much? Especially these days when it's sort of an outdated platform and a lot of people have moved on.
Okay, my answer is controversial, but I think they are mentally attached to the collection, the collecting aspect of AQWorlds, like of the whole system of rares. Because if you drop AQWorlds for a month, you miss month worth of items, which you are never able to get again. And combine it with nostalgia, combine it with kind of decent releases from time to time, combine it with a lot of emotional value to the thing you like, and combine that with the mental fear of missing out, and you have something which you can't like let go of, and you don't even want to. So it's also positive and negative. You have good reasons and bad reasons, and that's why I think many players struggle to basically leave AQWorlds or don't want to give up on AQWorlds because they enjoy it so much, because they get a lot of serotonin and dopamine every single time they get a rare, and like that. I think that's my theory based on my own personal experience, because I sank real deep into the system of collecting rares when I was a normal player, and it took me a long to go back from it.
Oh man, the amount of dopamine released when you drop a 10k on a chest. Oof. Yeah. Actually, that's like not what I was expecting as an answer at all. That is amazing, because I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to the fact and honestly admit to the fact that when you start playing AQW, it wasn't for collecting or anything like that. And then you have that nostalgia factor from so many years ago, and now you're playing it again, and you've got this collection. And trust me, like even just this year, I took a couple months off of AQW, related to like being busy in real life. And then I came back and I missed so much. I was looking at what I missed, and I missed like so many things that the only way to get it is by getting a item of donated awesomeness, which is that's a lot of money for something that just went rare. But I mean, it's a good platform and sort of strategy for AE, especially because AQW is their money making machine. But I think it's still done with a lot of love and care, in the sense where that, like we mentioned earlier and we talked about earlier, the passion is still there for stuff that is released, and it isn't just there are some 10k boxes that they just crammed whatever they could, whatever scraps they could, and they put it in and they sold it for 10k, and people will still buy it, me, even if it's a crappy chest, because, for example, I love collecting badges, so I'll go and get the pet for the achievement badge, do that, and then put away the 10k chest and not even take out any items. So yeah, I think it could be a psychological thing related to just collectionism and the fear of missing out on rares. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, coupling it with the nostalgia factor and the enjoyment of certain seasonal releases, right?
Yes, but gladly for us, it's not done maliciously. Like, yeah, this is a system from back in the day, which stayed with us. And it's basically a lucky coincidence for AE and unlucky coincidence for us players. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not like, yeah, as you said, A is not doing this for being a cash grab, for trying that, but they have a lot of passion put into all of these releases, and they just need to have some sort of revenue going back into them so they can operate. So yeah.
That's really good. Yeah. We'll put a pin in that one there because I think we've nailed it pretty much. This next one is also actually came up twice, and so it's kind of a double question. Like in terms of your art evolution, like how good would you sort of rate your evolution from the very first art to your latest? And how does that couple with, what programs do you work with, gadgets do you need, that kind of stuff?
Whew. I can definitely say I got better, but I still have a long way to go. For example, if you guys remember my in-game release for my birthday, there were 4 rare helmets released, and each of them was basically an art. Oh no, sorry, I just realized they changed it. Okay, never mind. But basically, for those helmets, I used art from that year. So one represented year 2018 when I started. The next one was 2019, then it was 2020, and then it was 2021. And each of them represented like part of my journey. The first one was when I started. The second one was when I got the community content creator. The third one was when I became A staff. And the fourth one was when I got, the in-game release. And you could see the evolution pretty nicely there just on the hair shading. But Alina didn't like the shading on the first 2. As she should, because it was bad. But, I thought it looked charming and it made sense, but she wanted to change it, so I, had to change it. Nothing against Alina. It was a good decision on her part. But yeah, I had a long journey from basically nothing when I just started learning vector art, which is basically Flash. And currently I'm in a position when I am able to create most of the stuff in AQWorlds style with references. So that's fine, but I still have a long way to go.
That's honestly amazing. That is absolutely incredible, especially as a player myself who, doesn't get to see or even understand what happens behind the scenes of, when you equip something. I don't get to really appreciate where it actually came from. And working with vector art and everything, and being able basically to make anything in AQW using the template and references like that's really cool. That's super cool. It's honestly, I think it's a really good platform for being creative with art, because I feel like if you were doing art designs for other games, there's even more limitations even. But you can do more and more, and we've seen this evolution in AQW, right? Like we've seen that straight face old armors kind of deal where it's just like a straight look, and now we have all these different kinds of expressions and morph helmets, and even the armors. Well, there's one controversial one in the latest Black Friday chest where they took an old armor and they gave it a bit more cleavage curves and shadowing, if you know what I mean.
I know, and I approve of the decision.
I think we all approve.
My DMs are open. Come.
So yeah, there's definitely a big evolution there, and I think there's going to be even more opportunities that come with the new engine, and it'll be really exciting to see. There's rumors and kind of teases and stuff kind of floating around that there may be an option to equip kind of a double helmet where you can wear a hair equipped to something else, or there's some equipment options coming our way potentially. So yeah, I'll definitely
I think I can say this. I haven't seen anything like that anywhere, not even on official sources, not even on Twitter, so I have no idea where this is coming from. But I can say something that was publicly shown multiple times currently. I think we are getting in the near future a new type of equipment slot, which is ground runes. You've seen the thing, right?
I have.
So yeah, that's more or less confirmed, because when you look at your new character change screen, you can see an empty slot for the runes. So that's all I can say, and otherwise I haven't seen anything else. But I'm not denying it. It may be in works, and I'm sure the customizability. Okay, I messed it up, but you know what I'm trying to say. In AQWorlds Mobile is going to be really good. From what I heard on Twitter, official sources, public, so I'm not leaking anything. You are going to have like, separate eyes, separate face expression, and maybe even things like freckles or, beauty marks and such. So look forward to that, at least.
All right, that's awesome. More customizability coming our way. Cool. Awesome. All right, so the next couple of questions here. This is all received from the community, by the way. Do you enjoy working for AE? This one I can't tell you how many times this came up, but yeah, do you enjoy working for AE?
I'll say it as it is. It's a love-hate relationship. It's not perfect, but in the end, we still love each other. I can go more into detail, but there are many restrictions and limits which should be there because it's a company, and also they need to work in a way which is efficient for them and possible, and also to be fair to everybody. But I still think AE is giving me a lot of freedom, way more than I should have, and way more anybody else could ever provide me if we are talking about game development companies. For example, as you mentioned, I'm AE staff, and officially I'm doing promotional images. That's the reason why I'm AE staff. But my position also allows me to work on anything I want as long as the other side wants me there. So this is why I am getting badges in-game in AQWorlds, items in-game in AQWorlds, releases in AQWorlds, items in AQ Classic, locations in AQ Classic, redesigns in AQ Classic, many other stuff which I'm not even sure I can mention it or not, but basically when I have an idea, I can just go to the person who is responsible for that area, message him what he thinks about it, if he would like to work on it with me, for example. And if he says yes, I literally can work on it because I love doing this. And I'll do it, and it basically gets out there. For example, if there are any AQ3D fans, I hated the AQ3D badges. They were so lazy, and there was like no consistency in them. So I literally spent like 3 weeks designing a badge new system, with the rarities and the new frames you can see there, and the new icons and everything. I designed that. I also designed like new names and descriptions for them, and also new categories, which is not yet implemented, but I'll try to get there as well. But at least I literally just got to Artix, told him this, and he was like, oh, that's pretty cool, let's set it up. And in the 2 weeks, we at least changed all the images to look nicer. Okay, when you look currently there are still some new badges which don't follow these, new frames and everything and look a bit less cool. Sorry for that. But it's still an improvement. And it happened just because I had a suggestion, I said it, and the other side liked it, and they just were able to work with me, and I had the opportunity to, be open with them. So I think my relationship with AE is, I like working for them. It could be better, but I'm satisfied with what I have, and it's getting better and better more I am with them. What I'm very happy for. So yeah.
TLDR, love-hate relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just got passionate.
That's perfect actually, and that kind of encompasses I think a lot of expectations as to when it comes to AE, and that's nice because I think the community, I've said this before in videos actually, the community is very much in the loop with everything that's happening, the good and the bad. For the most part, there is no like kind of barrier in terms of communication. I think some people would beg to differ, but I think honestly that the community is in the loop with everything. There's not going to be any huge surprises, negative surprises or anything like that, right? So also, I find that the badge system is super underrated and people don't really care about collecting badges so much. There's a very small number, like a percentage of people actually do. As a person that loves collecting badges, thank you for creating more badges. We'd love to see more badges, especially event badges, just because now that they're categorized into subcategories, even just like a seasonal event that you play from start to finish, and maybe there's a challenge boss fight and you get more collection for badges is really always nice.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, and if I was able to make more, I would definitely do. By the way, random thought, how many badges do you have?
Honestly, I don't even have as much as the other people that collect badges. I think I'm on just 200 badges.
Oh, that's
so.
actually pretty cool. Like, I have 260, so you are nearly close to me.
But at the same time, like, a lot of those badges will be, for example, like the monthly bonuses, and then, like, for example, there's the epic hero part where it gives you your badges like Legion Revenant, Void Highlord, Blinding Light of Destiny, Sepulchre's Doom Armor, the like 0.1% fish thingy, and the alchemy thingy. So I don't have any of those. Because I haven't. Yeah, no, literally, I'm almost to Blinding Light of Destiny, but pretty much everything else is I haven't either farmed for or anything like that. Like I think the only one that I have on that row is probably the Drakath one for finishing Chaos Saga. And
shame on you, man.
Yeah.
I went to the effort to create Necrotic, Sword of Doom, Legion Revenant, and Void Highlord.
I know.
Getting them.
I know. Please don't leave the interview. But I don't have the Legion Revenant badge, but I have Legion Revenant.
Oh, I see. Don't worry, I have the same thing with Void Highlord, so look, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no. I, honestly though, those I've seen them. Obviously, the badges on other people's character page, and they look super cool. Like, imagine farming for a class that long, getting the class that is also very meta, but also you get a really cool looking badge to show your achievement and time. Like, that's good, and I'm really happy that they don't include that badge when you item donate it, because obviously you didn't put the time in, but like, yeah, yes. There you go.
I'm gonna give you exclusive information about a few badges, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
The Necrotic Sword of Doom badge and the Legion Revenant badge are broken. The guy who was person, I don't know who was it, but the person who exported them messed it up, and that's why the outline on the symbol is so big and you can't see anything behind it. And it's not gonna change because it already was so long there. Some people may like it, and if it gets changed, some people may complain. So accidentally, few badges how they look right now, they weren't supposed to, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's why if anybody was wondering why some badges look different from my Twitter when I suggested them and when they got in game. It was simply an accident, and at this point, it's too unsafe to change. So that's at least what I was told, and fun fact.
I like the use of the word unsafe.
There's a lot of feedback on Twitter, and the negative one is pretty painful to deal with, especially when it's not constructive. Of course, that's what I mean. So we are trying to avoid drama when possible. So yeah.
Oh, trust me, I've seen the very brutal side of the community too on Twitter. Like, it can definitely be pretty brutal. So yeah, it's understandable. And me personally, like, I've seen nothing wrong with the badges because I didn't even know there was anything wrong with them in the first place. So blissful ignorance. Yeah. Let's see here. So this is a bit more related to you as like just an AQW player and stuff. Like, do you have a favorite class in game?
Oh yes, I do. I use Void Highlord exclusively for everything.
Okay.
But my favorite class has to be Stonecrusher. It's one of the first classes which I farmed for, like, from the beginning to the end. And after I got it, it was so good on literally anything. Like, I love it so much till this day.
Yeah, Stonecrusher is really good. Yeah, I need to use it more. I like the Infinity Titan skin for it though. That's a good one.
It's cool. It's cool. It even has custom animations
and everything. Yeah.
Stacks, so it's cool.
Yeah, now Stonecrusher is very good. I only seem to ever use Stonecrusher in just like support scenarios. Definitely need to use it more often though. Especially if I'm in a room full of people who have Legion Revenant and Void Highlord. Like, I don't need to be another Legion Revenant. And make the farming go a lot quicker for people with Stonecrusher. Yeah. Honestly.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say super answer.
Yeah, he's great support, and if you are in a pinch, he can even solo literally anything. Okay, 99% of the bosses. So yeah.
Yeah. there is that one boss that is like unkillable in one of their releases. It was a Nulgath release actually. It was like a void something, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, his master. I don't know his name though.
Yeah. I
Somebody
tried to kill
killed
him. I spent 3 hours trying to kill him, and his health just went back up, and he insta-killed everyone in the room. So, myth busted, but anyway.
No, somebody did it, if I'm not mistaken. I'd seen it on the Reddit.
Really?
I think so, yes.
Okay, well, I'll look for that after and put it on screen for everyone to see.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't take me like 100%, but I remember something like that. But yeah, you do you. Feel free to continue.
Sweet. We're at the bottom of the community questions here, so we're almost done. I won't take too much of your time, but
it's okay, man. It's evening here, so I'm just chilling.
So because it's the holidays are coming up, and people are kind of getting into the spirit of Christmas, can we expect any items from you this year's during this year's Frostval?
Yes and no. It's because this year I'm working on AQ Classics Frostval. I'm changing one of the old locations there, like from scratch, basically. And I already finished, but I don't have any task for AQWorlds Frostval, and I'm not even going to do any suggestion from it because my time currently is a mess. Like I'm in uni currently, so that's the first problem. Then all the A tasks, that's the second problem. Then we have all the the pandemic restrictions and other limitations. And yeah, so no and yes, nothing in AQWorlds, but I'm definitely working on Frostval, and please look forward to what I made because it's beautiful. So yeah.
Okay, well, we have to check it out now. I have a AQ Classic account, but like I never play, which is interesting. So like, do people how many people still play AQ Classic? Actually, there's obviously still a community and a demand for it, right?
Yes, it's not as many as in AQWorlds, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that there are many active people who check it out regularly, and there's also a community, YouTubers and everything. And I was trying to get into AQWorlds recently, that's AQ Classic recently. That's also why I made some items from it, because I got into contact with Hollow, which is the AQ Classic main lead, and he's a great guy. Like, I love working with him. He's absolutely amazing. So I'm trying to get into the game, and while I'm at it, I'm also helping out with a few things. So yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, that's good to know. And as a fellow university student, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. It's good, but honestly, it's really great to be able to manage your real life and still make stuff and create and contribute to the community. Like, that is super cool. Yeah, I'm gonna skip through a few questions. There's some like, if you can build your ideal class, what class concept would it be? But I think that's too in depth and stuff. I think people want to find out, a bit more about your AQW playstyle, but we'll kind of skip over that one unless you have some burning class concept idea that you're thinking about.
I will just say, take Void Highlord and just multiply the damage by 100. I think that would be balanced and OP.
That would totally be balanced. Yeah.
I would use it. Look, man. I'm a busy man. I would appreciate it.
Right. So in the community, there are a lot of artists. There's a lot of people who do art, and just for voluntary purposes, like they just do art, maybe renditions of AQW, nothing that contributes directly to AE or anything. They just do it on their own time because people really love, I think a lot of, again, this goes back to like why people still play AQW. A lot of people love the art style of AQW. A lot of people love the customization of it. And so there's a lot of artists in the community, especially on Twitter. And some of the A staff today started that way. Cough, cough. But as an artist, I get this question quite a bit. And it was, what would you advise a novice to do should they advance? And do you have any like tips, tricks, advice for anyone out there who wants to become an artist?
I have a philosophy for them. This is mine, which I think I made up one day. I'm not sure if somebody already made it. Feel free to carry them, I don't mind. But it's basically, this life consists of two factors. It's hard work and luck. you usually have only one of those. You sometimes have luck and you are not doing anything, or you sometimes do your best and nothing happens because you are not lucky. But when you have both luck and hard work on your side, you are able to do anything. So just do your best every single moment you can. Okay, that sounds a bit pressure-ish, but in your capabilities, just try, be creative, create and create and create. Don't expect anything. Just stay true to yourself, do what you like, and eventually luck will find you. And when that happens, you'll basically achieve what you want, or maybe something great. That's a better phrase. So that's basically my tip for everybody. Just do what you like, and eventually luck will find you, and you'll have great opportunities.
Oh, there you go. And yeah, I think constantly developing and yourself and progressing yourself as an artist. And other people worrying about like stuff like, do you ever have art block? Do you ever just either if like you have no inspiration to make something, or you're making something but you don't know how to continue, and it's a constant like trial and error? That has ever happened to you, or are you full of ideas and constantly drawing up?
Yes, but my lucky I'm lucky in a way that I have very, very big amount of projects every single moment. And when I get an art block, I simply pause that project and come back to it later. So for example, I have been working on a Minecraft mod pack based on AQWorlds for like 3 months straight, and I wasn't getting anywhere because it was so ambitious and so big, and I got burned out. So I just dropped it for a while, and I'll came back to it later when I have the time and will. Same goes, for example, for my comics. I literally, when the pandemic started, we had to be at home, so I spent 6 months of my free time being at home working on the comics, and I finished 1 volume. And afterwards, I was so burned out that since until this very moment, I still haven't done a continuation. And I'm working on it in the background, but it's taking a lot of time, and I don't want to like pressure it, and I want to start in a good way and improve on it and make it even better than it was in the past. And I think that's a very healthy way to look at your projects. Like when something is not bringing you joy, just take a break from it and try something else, and come back to it later when you feel like it. And that's basically how I deal with my art block. And when I have art block on every single project, I just chill. And eventually I'll get bored and come back to something, so it's okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really good. I've had the same too, but like on the level of kind of like when I used to, take art class, I think it's not a good practice to try and force a project, because then at the end you'll just like look at it and you'll be like, no.
Yes,
So,
nothing good will come of it. You just need to, relaxation is fine. I think mental health is important, and people need to be aware of their own and not be scared to take breaks.
exactly. And also, it could be even on the same level of just making thumbnails and stuff. If you're having a block trying to do stuff in Photoshop, and then I think time is the best. If you sit on something for a while and you come back to it, great things will happen, and then you'll be really proud of it. And time is always good for any creative project. I think this is for anyone who is looking to be creative in any way. It's good advice.
Big agree.
All right, this is the last question from the community. Because we're talking about AQW, we'll finish off with an AQW question. So, if you have the opportunity to bring back a rare set, armor, helms, etc., you could obviously get it from the item of donated awesomeness if you want, something that you want that you still don't have. Also, I don't know, actually, can't you spawn in items as A staff?
Yes and no.
Yes.
As an A staff, no. As a AQWorlds staff, yes. So basically I literally can't. So my account just has a fancy colored name, and I can join rare locations and stuff.
You can also join rooms that are full, correct?
No, that's the
No, you
I
can't?
can't. I found that out the hard way. I can't. So yeah, but I can't load items. So I actually have an item which I missed back in the day because I didn't have the money to buy it. It was a chest pet for 2k ICs, and I didn't have the $10 to get it back in the day, and I still regret it to this day because it's beautiful, and it's like a chest. It's like a mimic pet. It was when the Rift location came out, and if you Google a Rift Quibble, then and you find the chest on which he's sitting on as a pet, just the chest, that's the item I miss so much. And I one day, you know what? I'm literally going to get it right now. I have like 8 of the tokens, and I just found, remembered. I need to get it.
Yeah, go ahead and I'll put it up on screen for everybody who's watching at home.
But yeah, that's my answer. Feel free to continue talking about literally anything. It's very nice to talk with you, and I'm sorry for my awkwardness. I'm a bit of an introvert, even if it's not sometimes apparent. So my apologies.
No, don't worry about it. And I totally understand that too. It's stuff that I struggled with too. But pretty much, like, I think that pretty much concludes like all the questions. I think we covered all the big points, and everybody got value from it. This I could keep going. I think we could both keep going, and this could end up being like a 2-hour interview on YouTube. And some people would sit through it and watch it, but we'll keep it kind of in a fair little time frame here. So we'll put a pin on it there, and who knows, maybe we'll have another chat in the future. But Adam, thanks so much for actually agreeing to sit down with me today, and honestly offer some insight into what it's like to be an AE staff behind the scenes and work on AQW and everything. And I still think that the best part of this interview for me was hearing your startup, from like how you discovered AQW to how you became an AE staff. That was so interesting. So I hope that the people watching at home also got some value from it as well. So thank you so much for coming. Much appreciate your time.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for having me, and I promise to work on my English and communication skills for the future. Thank you, guys.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, from Canada to Slovakia, right?
Yes.
We'll bid you farewell. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Yes.
Frames. Oh, there it. Oh, it's hideous.
I love. Look how cute. Look at it.
Oh, dude, when it walks, man, like just the legs. There's just. Don't get me wrong, I like cursed stuff too, but like, who made this?
I don't know, but I mean,
somebody like hit a blunt a bit too hard back in 2016. Like,
I need to thank them. It was their best decision they ever made, man.
It's the best item in the game. Okay, so that was the interview. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so very much, Adam, for sitting down with me today and actually chatting. It felt more like a hangout than an actual interview video project. So honestly, we'll chat again sometime in the future, and I know that people watching this video will have gained definitely value from it. And also another thing, I know Adam's time zone is in Europe and mine is in North America, and my sleeping schedule is kind of in a Japan time zone because of my university. So I'm glad that we could match up the time zones and go back and forth and finally find a time that was suitable for both of us. So thank you, Adam, for coming on, and thank you for everything that you do. Look forward to seeing your future works over on Twitter. As for me, that'll be all for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, of course, you know the regular drill. Like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell there so you don't miss another stream or upload from me. Twitter is where everything's happening, so if you want to go follow me on there and join in the AQW community, you can go there. And don't forget also AQW Community Discord. That's a big thing. There's over 8,000 people in there, and if you want to chat with people or get help in game, that's where you can go. So click on the invite link down below. It'll be pinned in the comments as well. Alright, I won't waste any more of your time, so thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you all in the next one. Battle on, and have a great day.